Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, we'll be building an application, or you can say whiteboard application like Excalidraw, or you can say Figma in one way. Basically, the concepts are going to be somewhat similar. So you can take these learnings to build your own Excalidraw clone or Figma clone, but I'll be making a simplified version of it. And let me demo the application now. We can create rectangles. We can change the colors of the rectangles also. We can create circles. We can create arrows. We can scribble and we can basically download also the image whatever you have, and we can select them, and we can basically scale up, scale down, or rotate them also. So these all we'll be doing in this video. So for that, I've already went ahead and created a basic project and a basic setup also of the couple of things which are quite simple, I guess. So let me just walk you through it. I already have an app.jsx file, and I've already went ahead and created basically I've used the icons from React icons to create the basic markup, as you can see here, where we have the menu like how we have in here, but we need to basically add the logic for the whole Canva thing, as well as the logic for when this button should be selected or etc. etc. Like clicking, what action should be performed based on each of the buttons. So I think we can get started now, I guess. Let me just tell you some of the things which I might have missed out. One is that we have an array which actions object which we'll be using throughout the app.jsx file. Along with that, in the package of JSON, there's nothing specific, only the React icons I've installed. I'll be installing the React Canva and Canva, etc. together with you. Let me just install those uh, libraries. One is the React Canva, another is the Canva, and another is UUID, which will be requiring for creating unique IDs. Let them install, and I think they've already installed. So now I think we can go ahead with a couple of things. So basically what will happen is like I've already went ahead and created a basic, you can say that markup here, where we have the full width and the full screen. This div has basically the full width and full screen. And inside it, will the top menu has the absolute positioning, and the rest of the thing will be having a canvas. So in Canva, what happens is like mostly a canvas is referenced using something called stage. Let me make it open, and we'll be needing the stage reference later on. So let me create that also. And we'll be needing a couple of extra things also, like width. I'll be giving it the Windows width along with the height. Mm, The stage is basically going to be the canvas. And let me see if I've missed out anything. Anyways, let me just show you now what we have in our whiteboard Canva. Let me open the console. As you can see now we have a canvas which is referenced by Canva, which is basically we can reference using the stage. And in each stage, we basically create layers. Each layer is just to give an example, what happens is like in stage, we need to create layers which is going to contain our drawing elements, and each layer can be different. Basically, we can create multiple layers, and we can use these layers for performances. So what happens is like whenever there is rendering done on each one layer, it doesn't affect the other layer. So in that way, we can have different kinds of performance benefits. But for simplicity, I'll be using only one layer, which is going to contain all of our elements. And for the canvas, I need to add also a couple of things. One is going to be the pointer down. So like what happens when the mouse has been clicked? Are you creating functions for them? Let me just copy this and paste it. Another is going to be on pointer move, and on pointer up. So let me create those functions now. And like how we have here, whenever we select couple of actions, we would like the different actions to be selected. So for that, what I'll do is like I'll create a uh, state variable. Um, to just by default, I'll be giving the actions of select. Mm, And in the top, as you can see in this menu, what I'll do is like whenever whenever there is a select action which is selected, I'll just highlight that button which references that selected action. So for that, what I'll do is like I have a class name here. Let, let me just check. When it's action select, I'll have specific classes, and if it's not, then I'll have different classes. Let me just paste them. So whenever the action is selected, then we'll have this classes. Otherwise, we'll be having these classes. And this for the what do you can the cursor. Something similar we have to do for others also. Just let me show you first of all this. As you can see now, it's highlighted. If we select something else, we need to do the same thing there also. So whenever this button is clicked, I'll just set action, equal- which is going to be actions dot select, and something similar I have to do for all. Let me copy paste them and modify it later. So for the rectangle, I'm gonna have rectangle. For the circle, I'll have circle. For the arrow, I'll have arrow. Then for pencil, I'll have scribble, I guess. For these colors, I don't need to have any action as such because I would let me do one thing. Whenever we hover over it, then it's gonna basically have it. But anyways, let me remove these classes. Uh, Let me just have hover one because it's gonna be just that, and there's no need of actions as such. And for input, what I'll do is like I'll have a value which is gonna be for stroke color. Oh, sorry, it should be fill color, I guess. And on change, I'll just do set fill color dot target dot value is. So let me just create the fill colors. The default, I'll just go to variable. For export, again, I'll just copy this, paste it, and whenever this button is clicked, I would like to export it. So let me just write handle export. Just let me clear write a function which is going to export this image. Mm, let me just write export here itself. And I think there's some other mistake. For the class name, let me just see what is happening currently. Okay, I think I understood the issue. Let me just write handle export or export image, export drawing. I'll just write handle export. Let me copy this and paste this. That should work fine. This is, I think, because of the reserve keyword, I guess. Issues. Anyways, let us see now how it looks. Let me just refresh it. And I think, let me do one thing. Let me just remove that classes itself from both of them. Because anyway, it's not required much. I can just select it. It's going to anyway come. And this one also, we can just click and it should basically export it. Now basically we need to write the logic for the image export. I'll just paste it. It's quite simple. So what we'll do is like we'll be having the link here. Let me write you. Let me first write the canvas URI. The URI is going to be the stage ref dot parent dot to data URL. This is basically the canvas method, as you can see. We're getting a canvas, we're getting a link, and then we are basically creating an element of A. We are attaching the URL to that link which we created, and just then we just click on that link, and after that, we just remove it from the DOM itself. It's quite simple, and this is quite this function is used in a lot of places where we need to create uh, links dynamically and then remove it after downloading the image, etc. I'm using this way to export the image. Now let us see what happens when we click on export. Let me refresh it, export. As you can see, the screen is completely blank and it's black also. But in our case, the screen should have been white. So to do that, first of all, we need to basically create a rectangle here. Let me give it x as 0, y as 0, height as window dot inner height, and width as window dot inner width. And let me give it the fill as white. Or just let me give the export of it. One, two, three, five, six. And one more thing, just to put this also in here, also I'll do one thing. I'll just give it the red color as default, like how I have in the demo, the default fill color. And I need to also have a stroke color. I'll give it, suppose, I'll just give it the black color. I'm not putting a state variable for this, so because I want all of the drawing elements to have the same stroke, as you can see, a black color. You can modify that also if you want. I need to give it ID also, which is gonna be just BG in our case. Let us see again back. Let me refresh it. Now let me click on it again. As you can see, now we have a white canvas. So that should be enough, I guess. I think we can focus on the individual functionality of all of these buttons. Um, basically the creation of this button as well as selection also. So to do that, what we have to do is like first of all, I'll do it for the first one, which is going to be the rectangle, and then I'll just complete the whole end-to-end flow. Post that we'll be doing for all of the buttons. Okay. So first of all, let me have rectangles. Let me first of all create a state variable, which is going to be rectangles. As you can see, and basically, I'm assuming you know React, so that's why we'll basically do how we do it normally in any kind of React application. We'll be having a state variable for rectangles, and based on whatever data is there for the rectangle, we're going to map and create different rectangles. Let me write it to become more clear. It was not clear till now. I'll be having the X value set later on in the rectangle, so I'll be taking from that. Similarly, Y also. Stroke, I think should be it's you need to basically give a value of key. Okay, let me first give the key also, which is gonna be I guess rectangle.id, which I'll be creating later on. Stroke is has to be a number, I guess, or string. Okay, it has to be the value, I guess. So let me write stroke color. Stroke width is gonna be a number, which is be 1 to 2 in my case. Fill is gonna be the fill color, which I'll be getting from rectangle. X, Y, height and width also has to be given up. So that also I'll be taking from the rectangle. Dot height, rectangle dot width. I think these should be enough. Let me add them later if I've missed out anything. So anyways, we can come to rectangle. In here, as you can see, whenever the user clicks on the rectangle button, it's going to basically make the action as rectangle. So what I'll do is like, first of all, I'll check in the pointer down case, if the action is equal to suppose select. I don't want this logic to be run there. So what I'll do is like, I'll just return. Otherwise, I'll do a couple of things. First, I'll get the stage and I'll get the X and Y position from it. Think it would get current position. I think it should be something else. Get pointer position. Yes. Yeah. And other than that, we'll be needing the ID also for the current drawing. Basically, what will happen is like, let me just explain it to you now itself. Let me refresh it. So whenever we click on rectangle and when we on do an pointer down event, let me just show you two once. Like I'll click on a rectangle. By default, as you can see, one rectangle had been created. But suppose if I just click on the rectangle and just do and continue dragging, as you can see, we are able to create a rectangle. This is an on pointer move event. And when we just accident, let me again show it to you again. Sorry about that. When I click on it, it's going to basically create a rectangle. And when I try to move my mouse, it's going to basically create a rectangle. And when I try to leave it, it's going to be in the same place. So this is so we need a couple of variables. We need ID to keep track of which drawing element has been currently been being drawn, so that we can track it using the on pointer move event. And whenever we basically click outside, we'll be what you can say we'll be keeping the drawing itself there, and we'll be needing we'll be basically needing to check also that if whether we are drawing itself or not, because in the select case we are not drawing anything, but for other cases we are drawing. So hence we need a couple of variables there. Let me add a code. It will become more clear when I write the code. One is going to be the painting one, which we'll need to identify whether we are painting or not. Another is going to be the current shape ID. So what we'll do is like we'll be getting the ID. Let me import UID also. We'll be getting the ID here, and I'll be basically be having the current shape ID dot current is going to be the value ID. Then is painting dot value. Sorry, it's painting dot current is going to be true. So we are basically painting. And what I'll do is like I'll be using switch statement because I'll be needing it for all the different kinds of shapes we'll be creating later on. So it becomes easier to follow along. So for switch statement, let me just write it. Switch, it's going to be action. Case is going to be actions dot rectangle. If it's a rectangle, what we'll do is like we'll be getting the x and y and going to basically set rectangles. We'll be again having an array here. We're getting the rectangles. We'll just spread it, the already existing rectangles. Then we'll create one more rectangle, which is going to have a couple of things, like how we are using it here. All of those things we'll be adding them, whichever we have from referring from rectangle. ID, X, Y, fill color, height, width. ID is going to be the ID. X by default, I'll give some value, whichever we have. Y is going to be again some value. Height, I'll give it some height of 20. Width again is going to be 20. Fill, what was it? Fill color or fill? Fill color, I'll just give fill color. This is basically going to select fill color from here and assign this value here. So same object key value mapping. ID, XY, height, width, fill color, and anything else. I rectangle, ID, XY, fill color, height, width. I think that should be okay, I guess. So this should give the rectangle all the necessary things. And I forgot to have a break statement. It's important to not give it. It will basically create unnecessary issues. Anyways, let me do one thing. Let me just copy this logic, whatever we already have, from here to here. And let me have it in on pointer move. Let me do one thing. I'll just put the on pointer below. And let me paste it. So there will be some changes, minor changes here. First of all, we'll also be tracking is painting because only if it's painting only then we want this whole function to be executed, this logic. So I'll just check if it's painting is there only then we'll be executing this function. Other than that, stage we'll be needing X and Y. We don't need the ID here because we'll be getting the ID from the current shape ID itself. Is painting also we don't need to do anything with that. Again, action set rectangles will be basically mapping the rectangles now instead of creating a new rectangle. So what I'll do is like I'll write rectangles dot map. I'll just check if the rectangle dot ID if it's equal to current shape ID. In that case, I'll do some stuff. Otherwise, I'll just return the rectangle as it is. So what I'll do is like in that case, I'll just return Mm, of days. Then I'll just return. I'll just first restructure everything because I don't want to change everything here. Like ID, I would like it to be same. Fill color, I would like it to be same. Uh, X and Y also initial X and Y I would like to be same, but I would like the ending location to be different. So I'll let width is gonna be X minus rectangle dot X. Width is gonna be that. Height is gonna be Y minus rectangle dot Y. And whenever we basically remove a hand from the mouse, I would like, where is it? I would like to be basically make the is painting as false. Is painting dot current equal to false. Now let us see if everything looks fine or not. Let me refresh it. Let me select the rectangle. Now let me try to draw it. And as you can see, I'm able to draw it, the first part, but not the other parts. Let me see what I've done wrong. I think the issue is with current shape ID. It's, yeah, actually current. And yeah, like previously, let me again try it. Refresh, clicked on it. As you can see, now it's working fine. And when I take my hand off the click of the mouse, and it's basically working fine. As you can see, now we are able to create rectangles. And if I change the color, something else, like let me just give black, gray color. As you can see, we have the rectangle here. And now we have to do something similar for all of them. This is the whole flow. So the main flow was this. Now we need to basically check and change, do different up changes, minor changes to make it work for all of the other elements like circle, arrows, and pencils, which we're doing now. Now for the circles, let me first of all copy paste couple of things. Now before that, let me just add it here in the below. There's gonna be circles. Before that, let me add this, and let me have first of all circle from React Konva. Let me just change it everywhere. Obviously, circle is not gonna have, I guess, X and Y. It's gonna not have height and width. Let me see what it's gonna have. It's gonna have radius. So I'm gonna take from circle dot radius. Then thing else. Yeah, it's gonna have circle X also. Similarly, Y. Stroke is gonna be this, fill is gonna be that. So let me come back on the on pointer down event. Let me just copy this, paste it, make this as circle, make this as circles again, something similar here. Circles is not gonna need height and width, but it's gonna need radius. By default, I'll give it a value of 20, and something similar will do it for the on pointer move event. With this is gonna use the Euclidean formula, I guess, the distance ones. I think it's square circle formula, I guess. Basically, we're gonna have the x2 x1 x2 square plus y2 minus y1 square, and then we're having the square root. You can imagine. I'll just write a function. It's I think you can easily visualize it later on. It's a basic circle formula. So we'll be having y minus circle dot y. This is gonna be squared then plus x minus circle dot x. This is again going to be squared, and the whole expression has to be square root. So I'll do it 0.5. And yes, that I think I might have forgotten. I need to do it for the. No, I think I've already done previously. Yeah. Let me now check it. Refresh. Accelerated circle. As you can see, I can create circles. If I just don't do anything, it's going to be a basic circle. And if I change the color, yeah, it's working fine. So now we can come back. Now we need to do something for arrow. So before that, first of all, let me come in the top, create some another variable. This is gonna be arrows. This is gonna be arrow. This is also gonna be arrow, and I have to take arrow from React Konva. No. This will not have radius. This will not have, I guess. Let me just check. Should have points something. Yeah. And points is gonna be arrow dot points. X and Y I don't think it should have. Let us see now. At the top. For the on pointer down, let me just copy this, paste it, change it to arrow. Sorry about that. This is gonna be arrows. Then I need to have something called points, which is gonna be, it's gonna be x and y, then x plus 20, y plus 20. This is basically gonna create a line between these xy coordinates as well as x plus 20, y plus 20 coordinates. But if you're confused for some reason, this is gonna be the origin. Like right side is gonna be positive x and bottom is gonna be positive y, I guess. Like basically the canvas coordinates, how we have a canvas. So anyway, let me just copy this. Oh no, let me just copy this, paste it, arrows, then this is gonna have points again. And for the points, I would like it to be having only from the starting as well ending. So what I'll do is like I'll take the arrow dot points 0, arrow dot points 1 to the current x and y. Let us see if it works fine or not. By default, if I do it, it's gonna create, as you can see, an arrow in the left to right direction, x plus 20, y plus 20. And if I try to modify it, as you can see, I can create it. Cool, this is working fine. Now I think the scribble part is left. So for the lines, let me create, for the scribbles, let me again create another state variable. Scribbles, set scribbles. Okay, now we can come at the bottom. Let me just copy this. It's gonna be somewhat similar to arrows. Uh, Let me come back again. This is gonna be scribbles. This is gonna be scribble. This is gonna be line. And for lines, we need to have We can give some extra stuff also. Yes, cap, I guess something. Cap, round, join, round. This is just some basic styling, you can say. You can change it if you want. Now let me just copy this arrow part here and paste it. Here what I'll do is I'll just do X and Y for the point because I would like it to be a single point when you click on it, and when we are doing the move, let me just copy this and paste it. So here what we can do again, we can keep it point 0, point 1, but then it's going to be again a line between X and Y coordinates. Instead of what we would like is like we would like to have a scribble kind of behavior. So for to do that, what I'll do is like I'll have scribble dot points. Is this correct, I guess? Yeah. So now I think I did not miss out anything. Let me refresh it and come back. As you can see, now we can scribble because basically we can do free drawing. So these are done, but I think I missed out the select part. As you can see, we can't select currently anything. So to do that, we'll be using something called transformers. First of all, what we would like is we want to tell React Konva that these are the elements which we would like to make it draggable. So to do that, we need to first of all do write a function, write a variable here in the top. Again, you can use some extra hooks like use mem, etc. I'll just keep it simple. I would like this draggable to be only true when its action is selected. Basically, we are selecting some during the selection. We have basically clicked on the selection button here. Only in that case, I would like the elements to be draggable. So let me paste everywhere where it's there. Oh yeah, first of all, let me write draggable. Let me copy and paste for all of them. Now let me refresh it. Create the rectangle, circle, arrow. Let me select it now. As you can see, we can drag the elements. And let me show you something in console. There is some issue which happens when you are dragging stuff and you are not handling properly a drag and event or at least move event. I would suggest you to check it out. There is again an issue also if you can see here. You can in your free time. I will just not make it more complicated as I think it's already how much color. Okay, so you can just check that out GitHub issue later on. Anyway, now we can come back to the what was left, I guess. I think yeah, transformer part is left out. Like as you can see here, when I select, I can select and I can do some transformation also on the object like scaling as well as rotating it. Uh, yeah. So we need to do that also. So for that, we need to basically use, I think, something called transformer. Let us write the logic for that also now. We're gonna have something called transformer. We'll be again referring using the state variable. Uh, transformer ref. Let me create that also. Mm. So what we'll do is like whenever we are clicking on any of the object, basically any of these drawable elements, when we click on it, use whenever we're in the select state. We'd like this transformer to basically select this node itself. So to do that, what I'll do is like each of these functions, rectangles, etc., will have the onClick function onto them. So let me write all of them that onClick. Just let me copy paste for all of them. Let me just minimize all of these. I don't think we'll be checking them out as of now. Yeah. So now let me write function on click. This is gonna get E, and I'll just check if the action is not equal to actions dot select, then we'll return because we would like the action to be selected. Select action, and if it is, then we'll first of all get a target, which I think will be E dot current target, I guess. Then we'll get transformer ref dot current dot nodes, and we need to basically set this target there. Okay, I think now let me refresh and see if it's working fine. I have made a create a rectangle. Now I can select it. I can move it around. I can scale it up and down. And I can rotate also. But when you basically want to deselect it, you can't do it. You can come to rectangle, but still select it. So to do deselect, what I'll do is like I'll be doing a, you can say roundabout way. Whenever this background, which is our again rectangle is clicked, we'll basically deselect this node. So to do that, what I'll do is like, again, first of all, let me just put a rectangle circle also. Circle also we can basically do the same thing here, as you can see. Okay, and now I think we can come back and handle that scenario, edge case. This is a rectangle, which is the background. So I'll write the onClick function in line for this. Whenever this function is called, I'll do transformer ref dot parent dot nodes. I'll set it in an empty array. Now let me refresh this. Come back, create the rectangle, create some more circles, arrows, etc. Now let me select them. Like you can see now I can deselect also by clicking on a background. As you can see, it's working fine now, and we can export it also. That's it. So this was it, I guess, for this whole video. There are a lot more things to be done, and let me know in the comments if you would like me to make a full-fledged React clone or Excalidraw clone, because under the hood they do a lot of stuff. So otherwise, anyway, you can take this video as learning and you can build your own anyways. Anyways, hope to see you in other videos as well, and bye.